Hello everybody, welcome to The Other Mother. This is a new podcast of mine. I am a stepmother and I wanted to create this podcast to hopefully build a sense of community. I don't have any friends who are step-parents. I have friends who are parents, but we both know that being a step-parent is very different. The relationship we have with our child and the thoughts, feelings and how we express them are completely different to what we do with our biological kids. Some cases it might not be different. For myself, I can notice differences. So I thought by starting this podcast, I could use it as a sounding board for myself, share my experiences, thoughts, feelings, anything that's happening in my life really, and see if other people feel the same way or if other people experience the same thing, if people have advice, if people want to just share their stories. Just a sounding board. And if this podcast goes places, then I would love to have other step-parents have a chat with me about, their lives and how that looks for them, and speak to biological parents and how they're experiencing their life having step-parents for their child. I think it would be really interesting, really intriguing, and I think we could get a lot of ideas from that. A little bit about myself. So my name is Mel. Hello. I am married. I have my stepson who is 6 and 2 biological kids. My son is 2.5 and my daughter is 4 months old. So our house gets crazy busy and hectic and wild, but it's very cool. And at the end of the day, even with sibling fights, I know that they all love each other, and that's all that matters. That's all there really is to share for us. We live in Queensland. I don't know, what do you want to know? Tell me, what do you want to know? We have my stepson every weekend. We pick him up from school a couple of times a week, which is great. Fathers don't have as much access as my husband does to their children, and that's wonderful. And again, this is what we want to talk about. What is it like for you? What access do you have? Do you love it? Do you hate it? What would you change? What would you keep? So I will try and post podcasts every week. It'll probably be at night time when all my children are asleep. And throughout my podcast, I really want to talk about what it was like for me from the beginning when I first met my stepson, talk about a little bit of those milestones coming through the years, where we are now, how that looks for us, the relationships we have, and, get a little bit of therapy for myself, share these things with people who might understand. It's hard. It feels quite lonely. But I'm really looking forward to this and looking forward to where it's going. I have created an Instagram called The Other Mother, of course. I'm not going to make it really crazy. I wouldn't have the slightest clue about social media businesses and how to run that. And obviously podcasts aren't my greatest. This is my first one. But on there, I might post a couple of things, some pictures, some mantras. I'll let you know when podcasts are up. Like I said, probably would do it every week in my quiet times with no kids, and can just say, hey, here it is. Bing. You can listen if you like. If you want to post questions on there, send me messages and I can talk about things in my podcast that you might like me to talk about as well. So, like I said, this is a community. I want this to be a sense of togetherness, and we are all doing it together, and we are not the only ones in these situations, whatever they might be. Other people are experiencing, and let's empower that. So thank you so much for listening to my first podcast. It was difficult, but I'm sure I will refine it and get better as I go. As we all do, practice makes perfect. So for now, I say good night. I'm going to go to bed. And I will talk to you in the coming days. Thank you so much. Signing out from The Other Mother.